So I'm just kind of curious, why now for Mantic Ritual? Why was now the right time for Mantic Ritual to get back after all these years? Because you guys could have come back in like the 2013 era, but
Mhm.
I know you were also busy with, and it's my personal favorite Warbringer record always.
Right
I've
on.
always, it is what it is. But I think
Awesome.
Empire's Collapse is my personal favorite. So I
Sick.
know you guys were working uh really hard on that specific release. Was that the reason why Mantic never kind of got off the grounds? It was just that one show and that was it?
I think it was more of an interest out of the members involved, because there was the second incarnation of Mantic Ritual with a different singer, and they were trying to do a second record, and they were already in recording and mixing and doing all this stuff with it, and it just never came out. It never translated, and then Adam parted ways from the band, and um, the singer Dave at the time also, you know what I mean, split. So it was really just Ben and Jeff, and then they moved out here, and we're just out here in LA doing different things with different people, and I guess it was just that core connection of not having everybody in one place at the time back then, in 2013 when the thing kind of dissolved. But I think it was just a matter of like conversation, wanting to do it for fun, wanting to kind of like reignite it because you enjoy doing it, not putting all this pressure on it of we got to play shows, we got to tour the world, we've got to, XYZ down our checklist. It was really just like new music for us and we're going to share it. So initially it was all going to be DIY, but then I reached out to my manager who is the president of M Theory Audio, and I was like, hey, this is reforming, just so I'm a part of it. Ben and Jeff are a part of it. You've worked with them plenty before in the past, and we wanted to present it to somebody just to do it more legitimate than just kind of doing it DIY and out of pocket. You know what I mean? So now it'll actually come out in physical form, and we'll follow it up with more new music. And the goal is to do a new record, and that was like literally first and foremost the first goal. But once we started talking about how to legitimize it and kind of stretch out the activity, that's why we were like, cool, let's kind of reintroduce this little by little rather than just unload an entire new record when nobody's heard of the band in 10 plus years.
Well, wait. So let me ask you this: what would have happened? I mean, hypothetically speaking, what would have happened
Mhm.
if you just right out of the gate released a brand new record? Because I think that would have been so much. I always think as from a marketing aspect, that would have been the better kind of a solution or whatever, the
Mhm.
better kind of way to the better route to go to, instead of releasing a single. And the single would probably get it, some traction like it is now, but
Mhm.
having a full on record would just ignite. I would assume it would ignite more interest than the single. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. The record is the goal, and it still is the goal. So that's written, and we'll be working. Basically, this is just kind of like a promo campaign, so everybody can kind of get their feet wet again who haven't been involved in this, like especially Dan, who's been out of this since 2013. So it was more of if we give away too much information at once, it might go unnoticed. But at the same time, it's like, how do we, with the circumstances of us being out here and them being over there, and how do we get this to work and not take so long for something to happen? Because if we were going to invest time and energy into a full record, then it would take, months of writing, months of pre-pro, months of recording remotely, because we're not all going to be in the same place at any one particular studio. And like, oh, we're blocking out this month of our lives to just make this record. Everybody's going to do it at their leisure. You know what I mean? So it just would have taken a hell of a lot longer to get anywhere and get anything done. Like we probably wouldn't be having this interview because we'd still be working on that record, you know?
Sure.
So then we just kind of took it bit by bit. So I'll be spoiler, but basically we did an EP, so it's 6 songs. We released the first one and the cover. So there's 2 more originals that are recorded, and then there's 2 more covers that are recorded. So in early new year or spring or what have you of 2022, there'll be like a formal 6-song EP from Mantic coming up that will lead into a record. So the record is still the goal, but it's just kind of stretching out the activity because we're obviously with the current state of the world, we're not planning on doing crazy tours or anything like that. So music is something that we're just going to continue to release, for the fan base. So we'll start there and see where it goes.